Hey, this is Jason Morris with Real Estate Agents That Really Work in eXp Realty, and we're in what I got Matt Rodriguez on the phone. And Matt, we're in what week? Is this week 4? Is this the fourth
I
call
think
now?
yeah, I think it's week 4 now. Yeah.
Yeah, we're in week 4, and I know this has been like last week's been crazy in the state of South Carolina, and really the Southeast with Hurricane Matthew and all that stuff going on. But so how was your week, man? How'd your calls go?
The calls went all right. I had family in started last week and then they kind of stayed over the weekend and they left Monday night. So I didn't really get much done Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday made calls. I made 2 appointments. One of them I didn't go on. Another one I did. It was actually a for sale by owner. So
Oh, really? So the one you didn't go on, what happened there?
it was grossly overpriced. It seems like a common story in this area, but I'll definitely keep tabs on them and see how it's going. But
Yeah,
they were both
you know,
FISBOs.
some of the ones that are overpriced, man. One thing that I do with people is like I got one right now. He really needs like with real estate commission and everything, like
Mm.
125 breaks him even, and
Yeah.
really the place is worth like 105 right now. And just talking to him through discovery, one of the questions I ask some of these people, well, what are you trying to do? Are you just trying to get out from under the place? And for this particular guy, he is really just trying to get out from under it. He's kind of struggling to pay payments. He's had some life changes. It was a second home that he's ended up renting out. And he's had tenant problems and different stuff like that. It's just so one of the great questions I ask when they're like really grossly overpriced is what are you trying to do? Are you just trying to get out from under it, or are you trying to walk away with a certain amount of money? And most of them would go ahead and tell you.
Yeah.
And if they're at the point where they owe pretty much what they're telling you they need. A lot of people are just trying to get out from under the debt, I find, and short sales aren't as common, but I mean it's an avenue these people can take, and it's not really gonna be as negative as what some people think it will be. I mean, sometimes I've had them report people's credit paid as agreed, and their credit score actually went up. I mean, I've had other ones they take it off of their credit score completely, but man, if you ask a couple more questions on those, sometimes you can figure out. Sometimes they're trying to get a down payment to put down on another house, or sell the house and pay off 5 cars and credit cards and student loans and all kind of stuff, and it just isn't really doable. But I'd
Right.
keep following up with that guy, man. If he's really, there might be a chance that he's really motivated to sell, and sometimes they got to sell and they'd like to pay off all this stuff, but the longer it sits there with not much activity, the more motivated they get. But yeah, I
Yeah,
definitely.
it's the motivation definitely. And when I was talking to him, it didn't seem like he had a whole lot. I almost think he's just trying to play the market and really just cast it out there and see what he can get. I made the appointment, and then after going over the numbers, I just realized that they just weren't in there. So I called him back, and we talked about it for a while. But yeah, like I said, I'm definitely gonna keep tabs on him and see how it's
Yeah.
going. But
Yeah,
low motivation it's hard to deal with sometimes.
yeah, put them in your database. And sometimes, some of these guys act like they're really not motivated. Oh, I don't care when we sell. We'll sell when we sell. But
Right.
deep down, they know that, hey, they've lost their job. Or, I had somebody tell me the other week they were making like, they were getting all this overtime and all this. They were being paid hourly.
Yeah.
But they were getting like tons and tons of overtime. Well, all of a sudden, their boss went to them and said, "Hey, look, you're getting all this overtime. Basically, we're going to go from you being hourly to you being on a salary." And so
Changes
it
life.
just didn't work out. Yeah, it changes life,
Yeah.
man. You go from making, 50,000 to 40,000. It doesn't sound like a lot of money, but it is.
Oh
It
yeah.
is when when you're in that income bracket. What about the one that you actually went on? Tell us about that one.
Yeah, that one seems like a pretty promising one. They were looking to talk to a couple more agents. I wasn't able to close them on this one. It's probably going to be a 2-step. Which for me with FISBOs, it's normally how it works. I get a little more comfortable with closing on the first time with expireds. but FSBOs normally take a little bit longer for me personally. So it was kind of like a preview. I went, took a look at the house, talked to them about what they were really wanting. We discussed a little bit like pricing strategy, and I did bring comps with me, but for their peace of mind, they wanted to talk to other people. So it's definitely be a strong follow up with them every single day, and
Yeah,
try to close up
of course, man. You send them your pre-listing package, right?
every time. Yep.
Every time. Cool, man. Pre-listing package and net sheet. I always tell people nobody else is going to have one. So even if they want to
No.
talk to other agents,
Yeah. No one sends net sheets, man. That's what I'm seeing.
I noticed like talking to agents, like a lot of agents want to keep that secret. They want to take stuff with them. Man, just go ahead and email it all to them and go over it when you get there. I mean, I want there to be no doubt when I show up to an appointment that I am there to do business. I don't want to keep.
If they have objections, I would rather handle them on the phone than waste my time going out there and then them being like, "Oh, what the heck, man."
Yeah, exactly, man. I'd rather them call me and cancel an appointment than me show up and not list their house sometimes.
Yeah.
But so you listed one last week and you went on you went on the prepper appointment last week too, didn't you?
Oh goodness, yes.
Yeah, man. So you prospected Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. How many hours or how long did you prospect?
Probably about hour and a half to 2 hours. It wasn't what I should have done. I'll be the first to admit that. But it's just been a weird week.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think there's been so much damage around the state and stuff. I think I told you I didn't have electricity for 6 days or internet or, anything really. So it's been a frustrating week for me to say the least.
You're the kind of guy that will have like no internet and no phone and still list a property though. So
I sold one this week. I got a contract signed this week. I mean, I just struggled to figure out how to get it to them, but I sold a house this week. So I'm working on a second one, man, and I got a third
Congrats, man.
offer for us. So as far as business, it's been a good week. The rest of it was like going back in time. But
yeah. I worked a little bit with some buyers this week, and I'm getting a lot of activity on that listing from last week. Have a couple second showings, which are good because obviously they want to come back and look at it. And I've had one showing, I think every evening on that place. So hopefully it gets moved pretty soon.
Yeah, here I always tell people it always seems like 10 to 12 showings and we have an offer. Is what it is in my market. And so man, if you're getting showings every afternoon, especially up in Greenville, South Carolina, you guys are probably close to getting some sort of offer, especially with second showings.
Oh yeah. I mean, this house is almost identical to another house that went under contract. This other house that went under contract went under $900 over what we're listed at, and they went under contract in, I think, 12 days. So I'm not too concerned about it.
Yeah, man, that one sounds like it's going to sell. Something I've done with people like going back for multiple showings and you don't really hear anything, you don't hear feedback, or you hear feedback and it's just something small. Man, I talked to the seller about those and make a reverse offer. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
What you do with making a reverse offer is maybe they say like, you call the agent back and you say, hey, look, you ask for feedback. Or our MLS actually, we use Showing Time here, and it actually sends an email to get feedback. But those second showings, I like to call myself and get feedback too. Even if they fill out the form, I like to call the agent because then you can actually ask questions and see what's going on. If they say something like, "Oh, we didn't like the roof," my clients are worried about the age of the roof, or my clients were worried about, whatever it is. They've seen one with granite countertops and they really wanted granite countertops. I just go back to the seller and say, hey, look, this is what they didn't like about your house. As long as it's something easy to overcome or can be overcame with price. And I'll talk to the seller and, we say, hey, they didn't like the countertops. They want granite countertops, and depending on the amount of countertops they have, you talk to the seller and then go back to the buyer's agent and say, hey, look, my client understands he doesn't have granite countertops, but he's willing to give them a credit of, $3,000 towards granite countertops. They can pick out their own color. What do you think your buyer thinks about that? and let them go
Right.
back to them with a reverse offer. And
I mean, yeah, everything's a negotiation. I do actually email and text every single agent that shows. I send them an email thanking them for showing my client's listing, and then asking for more feedback than what Showing Time asks them. Try to delve more deeper into it. A couple of them have been things that we really can't change in terms of area, in terms of proximity of other houses. But yeah, definitely, that's a great idea.
yeah, I mean, dude, I've been really good at doing stuff like that. I mean, like I had one, they didn't like the carpet. The carpet was old and worn. And this is this week. They didn't like the carpet. It was old and worn. I went back to the seller and said, hey, they don't like the carpet, man. It's going to cost probably $2,500, $3,000 to replace all the carpet. What do you think about giving them a carpet allowance or adjusting the price? And that's what we went back to them. We worked it all out. Anyway, now we're getting a contract back and forth on the whole thing. I got another one. I've done a lot of that though, man. I don't, if I think somebody's really interested, I just hold on. I don't let it die.
No, not at all.
Or if I think it's something like really, really small and easy to overcome, because a lot of agents out there, they truly don't have a lot of sales training.
Mm-hmm.
And, somebody gives them an objection like that, like, oh, I don't like the color paint. Well, dude, paint's $15 a gallon at Home Depot. What can we do to make this work? You know what I mean?
Right.
What color paint do you want?
Yeah.
We get your house painted down here like $125 a room plus the paint. We can have this place painted for you. So yeah, if somebody's really interested and they're giving those small objections, it's easy, look for ways to overcome that, man, or make a reverse offer. I even offered to have a bathroom painted for a woman because she wanted a pink bathroom one time. She just kept talking about liking the house but wanting a pink bathroom, and I was going, oh my God, it's a gallon of paint and 2 or 3 hours labor. Let me get somebody to do this for you. As my gift to you, I'll get that bathroom painted.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, man. So let me ask you. So you're doing for sale by owners. So do you have any lead sources you're using to get those, or where are you finding them?
At this point, I really just use Craigslist and Zillow. Zillow has in my, I don't know about everyone else's area, but in my area, there's got to be at least 200 for sale by owners. You just go on a Zillow and click all the for sale by owners, and they pop up. But so that's my main lead source.
Mine's like that too. I mean, I'll tell you for me, like those for sale owners, I know on Craigslist after 45 days, if they don't renew, they expire. So what I typically do is I go on Craigslist and I print out all the for sale owners, and that way I got them. So sometimes once they expire, the people quit getting calls, and that's when things are good, man, is when they quit getting calls,
No competition.
Yeah, and I mean, you're the only person that has them because most agents aren't printing those out. I mean, I don't think there's near as much competition nowadays on Craigslist as what there used to be.
Yeah.
I mean, I call here. I rarely talk to another person that's going, oh yeah, we're meeting 3 other agents plus you. I mean, it just doesn't happen with for sale owners.
Oh, that's the same thing with, old expireds too. People aren't calling expireds from a year ago.
Yeah, I think
for some reason, I don't know why.
It's interesting. I bet in your market, there's so little competition calling anyway, being a little bit smaller market. But man, in some markets like Denver, parts of Florida, parts of California, there's some agents that are super aggressive. Man, they're calling everybody they can. But
we definitely have those. I mean, Greenville's a 500,000 plus city. So, but we do have some really big players here that do call. So that's who I'm up against a lot of times. But even I'm finding the old expireds, and I need to get on Red-X to get the old FSBOs. But there's not a whole lot of competition with those.
Yeah, dude, I think it's only $30. Even if you do it for 1 month, man, it's I think it's only $30 a month, and you grab the whole list of for sale owners, and if you don't feel like you got $30 worth over the course of the month, cancel it. But But yeah, man, I like to print them out. That way I can write on them. That way I got them for, basically forever. So yeah, let me ask you though, before we hang up the phone, are you calling any for rent by owners?
I am not. I've been looking through Craigslist a lot for those. A lot on Craigslist are actually rentals from like apartments or property management companies.
Oh, yeah.
And I know I can call like property management companies and see if they're willing to sell like a single house. But it's weird in my market the way it's set up. I can find them if I dig for them, but it hasn't been a major lead source for me, which it probably needs to be.
Man, like my market's the same way. Like a lot of them are apartment complexes and property management companies, and lots of for sale owners that are managed by property management companies. There's an individual owner out there, but the management company ain't going to tell you who it is, and they're not going to give you that information. But the for rent by owners, like in my market, there might be one or two a day. I mean, you don't get a whole lot of them, or I don't get a whole lot of them. It seems like. But what I'm typically doing is I'm calling them up and I'm just talking to them a few minutes, and I'm like, hey, Matt, this is Jason Morris with the XP Realty. I was calling you. I see you got this place for rent. Would you be interested in selling it? And you talk with them a few minutes, say, well, man, you know what? In our market, the rental market's on fire, dude. I mean, places are renting in a day. I mean, it's crazy right now. I don't know where all these people are coming from to rent these places. and that was before the hurricane. Now the hurricane happened, and there's all these places that are going to be damaged, and it's just even going to be more insane. Oh, yeah. So because the inventory is going to go down. I don't think people have thought about that, but like in these coastal areas in Georgia, Florida, all these houses are damaged. They're going to come off the market, or they're damaged to the point of almost no repair. And these people are going to need somewhere else to live, and they're not going to rebuild. They're just going to take the insurance money and move down the street, Yep. And so there's inventory is going to go down. I mean, I think this is going to boost our market. I mean, but these for rent by owners, you talk to them, you offer to send them some comparables. Let me send you some information about me and my team and what we do to sell houses. That way, if you decide to sell in the future, you got some information about me. And basically, you just follow up every, month, 2 months. What you're waiting on is them to have a problem with the tenant. A problem with the tenant, or the tenant to move out, and they're just tired of dealing with it. They're tired of running people down. They're tired of just the whole process, because having a rental property, if you don't have systems in place, or you got just one, having one rental property sucks, because it's a lot of work.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't have a property management, especially, because they deal directly with everything, and I'm sure they're tired of it.
Well, a lot of these people that are doing the stuff themselves. Mm-hmm. They actually don't. The reason a lot of them don't have a property management company is they don't have room between their payment and they don't have room between the payment and their rent to be able to hire one. If they hire a property management company,
they didn't know what they were doing when they bought it.
Yeah, they bought and paid too much. I mean, the market changed and they're not getting as much rent. So what you're waiting on is them to have a problem or eviction. Everybody's one problem or one eviction away from putting that place on the market. So, and the key to working for rent by owners effectively is building a database and keeping in touch with those people. Yep. Building a relationship with them, send them an email, offering them something of value, whether it's comparables. Here's the last one that sold in your community. Here's the last one that done this or that, or hey, giving them a call and saying, hey man, this is going on. We sold one down the street. What's going on with yours? And typically the calls I get from that. From those follow-ups, man, they're motivated sellers, and they want to, they're ready to do something. They're like super easy listings. They're calling me going, hey, Jason, come put my house on the market. But what people don't see is that, dude, sometimes it might be 12, 18 months of follow-up, to get that one listing from them. But, you're doing it in a combination of ways. You're emailing, you're texting, you're calling on the phone, so you're not having 45-minute conversations with them, once a week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So okay, with your goals and everything, you got to get one listing this week, man. What are you going to do to get it?
I do. I have about 20 to 25 leads, old expireds that I've been calling and talking to for the past month or so. So I'm just going to hit those and see if I can convert one out of those 20 to 25. Try to get a listing out of it.
Man,
we've already spoken, so I mean the ice has already been broken.
That's cool, man. Man, what I would do with you, or what I would do if I was you, I mean, you got the person yesterday you followed up with and had a good conversation. I'd follow up with them today, of course, just going, hey, man, I want to see if you have any questions. I was following up on an appointment yesterday. Do you have any questions? Is there anything I can help you with? Anything I can get you? You know, I'm ready to start working for you. When do you want me to start working for you? Stuff like that. But I would take and get all my leads together, like all the people that are out there that you've talked to, you know, whether it's this week, last week, people, you know, even that crazy prepper guy from last week, you know, this week he's probably down to earth a little bit more, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But sometimes it takes a little while to set in for some of those people, but I take everybody you've went to their house, everybody you've talked to, and I would call them all today and try to get appointments with them over the weekend. All you're looking for is one, you know what I mean?
Yep, that's it. That's it. I still have at least 2 days left, so.
Everybody. Yeah, man, you got 2 days before Monday to find one listing. That's what your job is, you know?
Oh yeah.
That's what your job,
Absolutely.
That's what your goal is. Because if you don't get one this week, man, you're gonna have to get two next week.
What other job do we have, Jason?
That's it. Dude, we're just talking to buyers, talking to sellers. You're not doing that, I honestly don't know what you're doing. You know, not looking for.
I was listening to a podcast today, and he said agents do a lot of arts and crafts.
That's right, man. They do a lot of arts and crafts.
Designing brochures and business cards. So.
Oh yeah, dude. Some of them should be graphic designers. They should get out of the real estate business. They don't sell real estate anyway, but they spend a lot of time in Photoshop. But man, so you got 2 more days to get another appointment. So what's your goal for next week?
I'm going for 5.
5 appointments. Cool, man. What are you going to do to get those 5?
Keep on hitting the phones. Keep on following up.
Phones. What objections are you getting? And what types of objections are you getting that
For expireds, we just don't want to sell anymore. We're tired of it. Yeah, we want to take a break from the market. Our last agent didn't do it, so we're thinking about going FSBO.
Really?
Those are some of the common ones.
You know, I would just keep following up with some of those people. Some of them are tired. They need a little break. They're tired of having their home ready all the time. But lots of times, if they say, hey, we just don't want to sell anymore, ask them why. Why don't you want to sell?
Yeah. Or why did you want to sell?
Kind of dig a little bit deeper. Why'd you put it on the market in the first place? Don't be scared to ask them any question like that digs a little deeper and ask for some more information. Worst thing that can happen is they hang up the phone on you. Call you an asshole, hang up the phone.
I've been called a lot worse, so.
Yeah, that's right, man. That's right. Well, man, good luck this week, and we'll talk next Friday.
All right, sounds good, Jason. I appreciate it. Thanks,
man.